Neurogenesis and the Endocannabinoids, an almost unbelievable story. I'm Lex Pelger. I do Canna education for CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD. Check out our link tree for THC and CBD products, as well as CVResearch.info that has more data on this fascinating subject. Neurogenesis is the creation of new neurons in the brain, and this is a well-done review of the history of the study of that. The crazy part is, for almost the entire history of neurology, nobody thought this was happening in the adult human brain. The hugely influential Nobel Prize-winning Dr. Santiago Ramon y Cajal famously said in 1913, in the adult, the nerve paths are something fixed, ended, and immutable. Everything may die, nothing may be regenerated. The reigning dogma became that neurogenesis happened hugely in the developing brain, but by the age of 2, you had all the new neurons you were going to have, and for the rest of your life, all they were going to do was decrease in quantity and in quality. But then in the 1960s, the first evidence came out about neurogenesis in rats' hippocampus, which is the memory center of the brain. But nobody believed it. Then in the 1980s, the first irrefutable evidence came out in songbirds, because they grow a lot of new neurons when they're learning songs. And since then, we've added mice, non-human primates, basically a lot of mammals that are closely related to us do undergo adult neurogenesis, especially in the hippocampus. Still, not all scientists believe that neurogenesis happens in the adult human brain, because there's no really good way to study that, because you can't just cut open humans and do these kind of experiments, though I'm sure some of the scientists want to. From animal models, we now know that you can increase neurogenesis via exercise or enriching the environment, and you can decrease it via acute or chronic stress. As you can imagine, dysregulation of neurogenesis has been thought to be involved with diseases as diverse as schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, Huntington's disease, and most especially depression. Here you can see a list of drugs thought to enhance neurogenesis, though this list doesn't include the classic psychedelics because most scientists are old scaredy cats. So how is the endocannabinoid system involved? As you can see from this chart, every step of the way. The proliferation is the stem cells reproducing themselves, staying stemmy, and being available to differentiate. Then through this complex differentiation process where it becomes a mature adult neuron integrated into the system, the CB1 and CB2 receptors, anandamide and 2-AG, they're involved at every step of the process. And of course, as we know, the phytocannabinoids like CBD, THC, and the other minor cannabinoids influence all of these receptors and endocannabinoid neurotransmitters. This excellent chart comes from the newest review on the subject, the one I featured at the beginning of this video, and it really speaks to how the endocannabinoids act to stimulate the neural stem cells, to shepherd them through the distinct stages of neurogenesis, and to regulate the crosstalk with other neurogenesis-relevant signaling pathways. It speaks to the power of the endocannabinoids to help us generate new brain cells.